Putin News Now Dumplings and Diplomacy with Kim and Putin. Today, at the Vostochny spaceport in Russia's far eastern Amur region, Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un met for the first time in person. At the launch assembly facility's entrance, Putin reportedly told Kim he was happy to see him, and Kim reportedly thanked Putin for inviting him, despite being busy. The North Korean leader reportedly offered weapons assistance in exchange for food during the 5 hours of talks between the two leaders. This was Kim's first international trip in 4 years. Kim backed Russia's war effort, telling Putin, "Russia has risen to a sacred fight to protect its sovereignty and security against the hegemonic forces." In addition to the seniority of the teams accompanying them to the summit, this diplomatic expression of affection was demonstrated by the fact that they embraced each other. Putin sent his defense minister Sergei Shoigu and his foreign minister Sergei Lavrov, while Kim sent his powerful sister Kim Yo-jong, the head of the Korean People's Army Ri Pyong, and the head of North Korea's munitions industry Jo Chun-ryong. This show of force from both sides indicates not only the importance the two leaders attach to the talks, but also the mutual dependence of the two countries as North Korea breaks ties with China. Russian pelmeni, dumplings stuffed with crab from Kamchatka, were served at the summit's conclusion, followed by sturgeon or marbled beef entrecôte, red bilberries from the taiga for dessert, and wines from the Divnomorsko Manor in southern Russia. A Russian defector claims that Vladimir Putin is so paranoid that he lies to his own bodyguards about his whereabouts in order to avoid being killed. Former security officer Vitaly Brylati claims that since Putin's invasion of Ukraine, security at Putin's secret palace Olovy in Crimea has been beefed up to the point where Putin now has a bodyguard operating his watching machine. After deserting the military, Brylati, who now resides in Ecuador, claimed that armed divers were sent to search the waters off of the Russian extremists' private beaches for potential assassins. Brylati, a dog handler for the Federal Protection Service at Olovy, recently told TV Rain, a broadcaster that has been forced to flee Russia, that he fears for his life in light of recent events. According to Brylati, Putin is so worried about his security and the people he can trust that he has lied to his own bodyguards about his travel plans and where he would be staying in Crimea. Putin has also beefed up security at Olovy, one of his secret palaces in Crimea, following his invasion of Ukraine, with a former security officer, Vitaly Brylati, pictured, claiming that Putin now has a bodyguard operate his watching machine. He added that the number of guard dogs stationed outside the Olovy has been increased from 3 to 6 since Putin's invasion of Ukraine more than 18 months ago. According to the People, he's resting at the dacha, and everybody is running around guarding him, but he could be in another place altogether. Look at the people working in these dachas, Brylati, who defected from Russia to protest the war in Ukraine, said. An officer was needed even to operate the laundry machines. The former guard also said that employees were ordered to turn in their cell phones and that civilian contractors were largely barred from the palace, which was once described as a luxury mini-city, due to concerns about assassination attempts against Putin. It's a fantasy place, Brylati said of Olovy Palace. There are tea rooms, parks, fountains, barbecue areas, and even breaches on top of all the other amenities. Dmitry Medvedev, Russia's ex-president, and Alexander Bortnikov, Russia's FSB chief, both have homes in the area, he said. Other guards who have defected since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine began have corroborated Brylati's testimony about how paranoid Putin is. Putin's paranoia about assassination is further evidenced by a claim made by a former Russian intelligence officer earlier this year that Putin had set up identical offices across Russia to confuse assassins. According to Gleb Karakolov, an officer in the Kremlin leader's secretive elite personal security service, Putin designed the offices in his luxury mansions in St. Petersburg, Sochi, and Novo Ogaryovo to look the same. Official reports sometimes place him in one room when in fact he is in another, and the rooms are identical down to the tiniest detail. The defector revealed that when Putin visited the Black Sea resort of Sochi, Security officials would pretend he was leaving by sending out a plane and motorcade, even though he was still in Sochi.